Hello, everyone, and welcome to General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Lucas Jones will devise a plan to save Dr. Britt Westbourne. However, could it go horribly wrong? The ABC soap just released its preview for the week of February 23rd to 27th, where Lucas and Britt are highlighted in it. So let's talk about this possible plot twist in the storyline. Right now, Jen Sidwell and crooked WSB head Ross Cullum are working on a research project, Caesar Faison's final project, and they've blackmailed Britt into helping them. They are using her Huntington's disease medication to keep her lined, and only administering dosages at the Windermere lab to ensure she doesn't quit. The GH preview showcases a scene where Lucas is at the hospital with Britt when he tells her, "We can't get away from Sidwell until I can get you out." Of course, Britt looks shocked by Lucas' sentiment since these two have never been on the best of terms, ever. With that said, Lucas is a stand-up guy, and while he's not been a fan of the Britch, he also doesn't like how Sidwell and Marco Rios are using her as a pawn in their sketchy game. What sort of scheme does Lucas have up his sleeve? Lucas should move out of Spoon Island ASAP, but if he knows he can get information to bring these two to justice, there's no way he'll leave. Is he hoping to gather enough intel to bring Sidwell and Cullum down while being at Windermere? Either way, GH fans know how this could go down, and it won't be pretty. Sidwell is onto Lucas knowing far more than he should thanks to Pascal. Mark forget. Sidwell's butler saw Lucas eavesdropping on a conversation between Sidwell and Marco, but didn't confront him about it. That way, Sidwell has a leg up on Lucas without Lucas realizing it. Could Lucas be kidnapped and placed in the catacombs in a cell, much like Anna Devane was? This is also the last week of February sweeps, so viewers should also anticipate a major, shocking exit. Will Lucas pass away trying to save Britt? Pascal is foaming at the mouth to get back at Lucas, so that's another thing to think about. Still, will Jason Morgan's exit be linked to Lucas's plan? Could Jason become a casualty in trying to help or save Lucas and Britt? General Hospital spoilers imply that Jason will be back by July, but that doesn't mean the soap may not capitalize on his departure by having the hero rescue Lucas and Britt, only to depart storylines in a mysterious and tragic way. The air at General Hospital feels heavier than usual this week, charged with secrets, schemes, and danger lurking around every corner. At the center of it all is a plan that could either save a life or destroy everything in its path. And the ones caught in the storm? Lucas Jones and Dr. Britt Westbourne. It begins with a tangled web of control and manipulation. Dr. Britt, brilliant yet stubborn, has been cornered in a situation she cannot easily escape. Jen Sidwell and the crooked WSB head, Ross Cullum, have her right where they want her, forced into compliance through a chilling leverage. They've weaponized her own Huntington's disease medication, controlling her doses like a sinister leash, only dispensing them at the Windermere lab. Every day, Britt feels the tension, every missed or administered dose a reminder that she is a pawn in their dangerous game. But then enters Lucas Jones, a man not often associated with heroics, yet one whose heart and moral compass will not allow him to stand idly by. The GH preview paints a tense, charged moment at the hospital. Lucas corners Britt, his voice urgent, heavy with sincerity, as he tells her, "We can't get away from Sidwell until I can get you out." The words hang in the air, shocking Britt. After all, these two have a long history of friction, bickering, sniping, and clashing at every turn. And yet, in that moment, Lucas reveals a side rarely seen. Protective, determined, willing to risk it all for someone he's never fully trusted. His plan, however, is far from simple. Moving out of Spoon Island might seem like the safest option, but Lucas is driven by more than just self-preservation. He knows that if he can stay close, if he can gather enough evidence, he might be able to bring Sidwell and Cullum to justice. But this is Windermere, a place riddled with secrets, surveillance, and danger. Every step Lucas takes could be the one that plunges him deeper into peril. And Sidwell? She's already one step ahead. Thanks to Pascal, who has been silently watching, Sidwell knows Lucas is digging deeper than he should. One moment of eavesdropping, just long enough for Sidwell's butler to see him listening to a conversation between her and Marco Rios, has already put Lucas on her radar. She didn't confront him. No, She let him believe he was moving in secrecy, giving her the upper hand while Lucas remains unaware. It's a delicate game of predator and prey, and the stakes could not be higher. Could Lucas end up kidnapped, locked away in the catacombs, much like Anna Devane before him? It's a chilling possibility, and one that would send shockwaves through the GH universe. This is the final week of February sweeps, a time when the soap is known to deliver shocking exits and jaw-dropping twists. Could Lucas pay the ultimate price while trying to save Britt? And then there's Pascal, foaming at the mouth with vengeance, a wild card ready to explode at any moment. His obsession with punishing Lucas adds yet another layer of tension, making the path ahead even more perilous. Meanwhile, whispers circulate about Jason Morgan. Could his exit intertwine with Lucas's daring mission? General Hospital spoilers hint that Jason will return by July, but that doesn't prevent the story from exploiting his absence. Perhaps he will step in to rescue Lucas and Britt, only to exit in a mysterious, tragic way, leaving viewers breathless and heartbroken. As the week unfolds, every scene is charged with uncertainty. Lucas's courage, Britt's vulnerability, Sidwell's cold calculation, Pascal's rage, and Jason's looming presence collide in a storm of suspense. Will Lucas's plan succeed, or will the shadows of Windermere claim him first? Will Britt find freedom, or is she fated to remain trapped under Sidwell's cruel hand? And in the chaos, could a hero be lost, leaving the hospital forever changed? Viewers know one thing for certain. Nothing here is predictable, and the emotional stakes have never been higher. General Hospital is not just telling a story this week. It's pulling us into the very heartbeat of danger, loyalty, and sacrifice, leaving fans on the edge of their seats, hearts pounding, as every decision could mean life or death. As night falls over Port Charles, the shadows at Windermere grow longer, darker, and more suffocating. Lucas knows he's walking a razor's edge. Every step he takes, every glance over his shoulder reminds him that Sidwell and Marco are watching, waiting. The walls of the lab, sterile and cold during the day, seem almost alive now, whispering threats and secrets in the darkness. Britt, meanwhile, sits in her isolation, feeling the weight of her own helplessness. The medication that keeps her alive has become a symbol of her imprisonment, a reminder that she is trapped in a game far bigger than herself. Yet Lucas's words echo in her mind. "We can't get away from Sidwell until I can get you out." For the first time, a spark of hope flickers inside her. She wonders, could someone actually care enough to risk everything for her? Could she trust Lucas, despite their history of clashes and barbs? Lucas begins to put his plan into motion. He's careful, meticulous, scanning for weaknesses in Sidwell's watchful eyes. Every move is a delicate dance, gathering intel, avoiding detection, and inching closer to the truth. He knows Sidwell's surveillance is subtle but deadly. One wrong move, one overlooked shadow, and it could mean capture, or worse. The possibility of ending up trapped in a hidden cell, cold and dark, like Anna Devane before him, looms over his every thought. But Lucas is not a man to back down. Courage drives him forward, a mixture of desperation and duty, as he maneuvers through Windermere's labyrinthine corridors. Meanwhile, Sidwell's control tightens. Pascal, loyal to his own agenda, stirs in the background, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He's unpredictable, dangerous, and his obsession with punishing Lucas adds yet another layer of tension to an already volatile equation. Every heartbeat in this story is weighted with uncertainty, and viewers can feel the tension almost physically, as though the walls themselves might close in at any moment. Then there's Jason Morgan, the wild card in this perilous game. Though spoilers hint at his return by July, Jason's presence this week is more than just rumor. Could he intervene at the last moment, sweeping in like the hero the audience has always known him to be, only to be swept away again by the story's ruthless hand? The stakes feel impossibly high, and the thought of Jason becoming entangled in Lucas and Britt's dangerous gambit sends a shiver through the viewer's imagination. In a pulse-pounding sequence, Lucas sneaks into a restricted wing of Windermere, dodging cameras, listening in on Sidwell and Marco. He hears the cold, calculated planning that has kept Britt under their thumb for so long. Every word he catches fuels his determination, but it also reminds him how fragile his plan really is. Sidwell's watchful eyes, aided by her silent spies, Make it clear that one misstep could cost everything. And then the tension explodes. A shadow moves in the corridor. Pascal, lurking, calculating, foaming at the thought of finally cornering Lucas. The moment is electric, filled with the kind of suspense that grips viewers' chests and refuses to let go. Lucas's mind races, his every instinct screaming danger. He knows that time is running out, not just for him, but for Britt. Every second wasted could mean disaster. Meanwhile, Britt must summon courage she didn't know she had. She knows Lucas is taking risks for her, and that knowledge strengthens her resolve. Her own bravery becomes the silent heartbeat of the story. She's no longer just a victim. She's a participant in this high-stakes chess match, each move carrying consequences that ripple far beyond her own fate. As the week reaches its climax, chaos erupts. Secrets are revealed, loyalties tested, and alliances shattered. Will Lucas's carefully crafted plan succeed, or will Sidwell's cunning and Pascal's thirst for vengeance turn the tide against him? The possibility of tragedy hangs thick in the air, and viewers are left holding their breath, caught in a suspenseful, emotional storm. And then, in true General Hospital fashion, the line between hope and despair blurs. Will a hero emerge from the shadows to save the day? Or will the hospital see a shocking loss, one that leaves its characters and its audience reeling? Every character's fate is intertwined in this tense, cinematic dance of danger and determination, and every choice carries weighty, life-altering consequences. By the end of the week, one thing is certain: nothing will be the same at General Hospital. Lives have been changed, loyalties tested, and hearts broken. Lucas's courage, Britt's resilience, Sidwell's scheming, Pascal's fury, and Jason's looming presence all converge into a breathtaking narrative that is as thrilling as it is emotionally charged. For the viewers, it's a roller coaster of suspense, drama, and heart-stopping tension. An unforgettable week in Port Charles that will be remembered long after the final scene fades to black. The tension in Port Charles reaches a fever pitch as Lucas edges closer to executing his plan. Every step through Windmere is a calculated risk, and yet, he moves with a determination that borders on desperation. He knows that Britt's life, and perhaps even his own, hangs in the balance. The sterile corridors of the lab, bathed in flickering fluorescent lights, feel claustrophobic, like the walls themselves are closing in, bearing witness to every heartbeat, every whispered plan. Britt, meanwhile, is caught in a storm of conflicting emotions. Fear and hope battle within her. The medication that controls her disease has been transformed into chains. Yet Lucas's promise of rescue sparks a fragile flame of trust. She studies him, seeing in his eyes a sincerity that she has rarely glimpsed before. It's a dangerous connection, one born from necessity, one that could either save her or lead both of them into peril. But danger is never far behind. Pascal, fueled by a bitter obsession, stalks Lucas's every move. His rage is almost palpable, a simmering energy that could erupt at any moment. And Sidwell, the puppet master behind Britt's imprisonment, already suspects that Lucas is uncovering more than he should. She moves with calculated precision, pulling strings and setting traps, each one designed to ensnare him before he can strike. In a cinematic crescendo, Lucas finally discovers a key piece of information, a secret conversation between Sidwell and Marco that could change everything. His pulse quickens as he records every word, knowing that this intel is the leverage they need to bring her captors to justice. But the triumph is short-lived. From the shadows, a figure emerges, Pascal, eyes blazing with vengeance, cutting off Lucas's escape route. A moment of pure, edge-of-your-seat tension descends, as though time itself has slowed. Back at Britt's side, her own courage begins to crystallize. No longer just a victim, she becomes an active participant in the struggle for freedom. Every decision, every subtle move she makes, contributes to the precarious balance between capture and liberation. When Lucas calls to her, she meets his eyes with determination, ready to act, ready to fight, not just for herself, but for the fragile hope that this nightmare might end. And then, the shadows of the past reappear. Jason Morgan looms on the horizon, a figure of both comfort and uncertainty. Could he intervene at the decisive moment, tipping the scales in favor of Lucas and Britt? Or could his involvement escalate the danger, intertwining their fates in a tragic, shocking way? His presence looms like a dark cloud over the already volatile mix, and viewers are left guessing how his legendary heroism might intersect with the chaos at Windermere. Every heartbeat counts now. Sidwell's network of spies, Pascal's obsession, and the labyrinthine corridors of the lab create a pressure cooker of suspense. One misstep, one flash of panic, and the consequences could be fatal. The audience is drawn in completely, riding the edge of every whispered secret, every calculated move, every narrow escape. Then comes the crescendo, the moment where plans collide with reality. Lucas and Britt attempt their escape, each step tense and deliberate, yet danger lurks at every turn. Pascal strikes, Sidwell manipulates, and the walls of Windermere seem to close in, holding them captive in a climax that is as emotionally charged as it is suspenseful. In these final moments, General Hospital reminds viewers why they watch, not just for the drama, but for the raw, human stakes. Lucas's bravery, Britt's resilience, the cold calculation of Sidwell, Pascal's fury, and the looming shadow of Jason Morgan all converge into a breathtaking spectacle of emotion and suspense. Each heartbeat, each glance, each whispered word carries weight, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, breathless and emotionally invested. By the end of this turbulent week, the story leaves a permanent mark. The struggle for justice, freedom, and survival has reshaped these characters forever. Viewers are left with questions that linger. Will Lucas's daring plan succeed? Will Britt finally taste freedom? Will a hero rise? Or will tragedy strike at the last possible moment? One thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same at General Hospital. Lives are changed, hearts are broken, and every decision carries consequences that ripple far beyond Windermere's walls. The week concludes not with resolution, but with raw, suspenseful emotion, a cinematic, unforgettable narrative that grips, terrifies, and inspires, leaving viewers counting down the days until the next chapter in Port Charles unfolds.